Welcome to the Fitness Business Podcast, brought to you by Active Management, the world's leading fitness business coaches who in 2015 will help you #grow your business. This is the world's #1 podcast for fitness business owners and managers. We interview real owners and learn what has been working for them to make them so successful. Here's the host of the Fitness Business Podcast, Chantal.
Welcome to our Express Fitness Business Podcast. This is a 20-minute injection of fitness business tips from a true expert. And this month we have the CEO of Fitness Australia, Lauretta Stace. Since starting in her role in 2006, Lauretta has embarked upon a journey to raise the profile of the fitness industry, to help integrate the industry within the health sector, and to ensure that the industry is recognised for its important role in helping millions of people to improve their health and well-being through regular exercise and other lifestyle changes. It'd be fair to say that Lauretta has truly transformed Fitness Australia into the leading national industry association that it is today. Now, during our chat, Lauretta shared insights on how she leads Australia's peak industry body, as well as what fitness business owners can do to strengthen their own businesses. I know that you're going to find some truly valuable information in this interview. So kick back and enjoy this Express Fitness Business Podcast with our very special guest, Lauretta Stace. Thank you so much for joining us today, Lauretta.
Thank you very much. Thanks for the opportunity.
Look, we're really excited to have you on today's podcast as our special guest because we're going to look at things from a slightly different perspective to some of our other podcasts. So before we get stuck into the questions, I was hoping maybe you could tell us a little bit more about your role within Fitness Australia.
Sure. I suppose my role, in essence, is really about leadership. Mm-hmm. Our vision is a fitter, healthier Australia, as we're often out there saying. Mm-hmm. So my role, both leading the association that actually is an environment for the industry to come together as an independent not-for-profit entity, mm-hmm. and also leading the industry towards that goal, doing what we can at Fitness Australia to create an environment where the fitness industry is well equipped to engage more people in regular exercise, yeah, and the other services that improve their health and well-being. So it's really a very strong leadership role, and also another big part of my role is being an advocate, not only for Fitness Australia but also for the fitness industry. Yeah. So I'm very keen to walk the talk, and I'm a regular exerciser myself, and I'm always out there talking about the benefits of exercise and the fitness industry to whoever I'm talking to. So I see that as a very important part of my role as well. Other parts of my role are about creating and building strategic relationships that mm-hmm. then help the fitness industry and drive us towards that vision. Yeah. So I do a lot of work around industry and stakeholder engagement. Mm-hmm. I'm always out and about meeting with people, whether at the online or face-to-face or at meetings. I go to lots of events. I go to regular meetings with large stakeholder groups such as the Heart Foundation, other health NGOs and other medical and allied health groups. So the profile of Fitness Australia is high, mm-hmm. and I also have a high profile myself, and I see that as a very important part of my role as well. Yep. I also work with board of directors who are elected and appointed representatives of the industry, and I help them to develop the vision and the mission and the strategic goals that Fitness Australia has to look at from time to time, and then I lead a team of very highly motivated, fantastic people who then implement that strategy and achieve our goals, whether they be short-term or long-term goals.
Fantastic, yeah.
My passion is really about health integration. Yep. I think the fitness industry for too long has been sidelined and isolated. Mm-hmm. And there is an enormous push from all parts of society where people are getting a very thorough understanding about the value of being fit and healthy and active, yep. regardless of their age or their experience or their condition. And I see that the industry has an extremely important role to play as one of the, very, very large provider of effective services to help people get fit and healthy and have a quality of life.
Absolutely. There's so many things that you just touched on there that I really want to explore a little bit more with you today, especially, you talked about everything from the affiliate partnerships to the teams and that type of thing. And I think I actually recall reading an article quite recently, because you talk about being an advocate and getting into the health and fitness yourself. And I recall reading an article about your fitness journey recently. Yeah. So you definitely not only, as you say, you're walking the talk, which is fantastic.
Right. And I guess I'm one of those people, like there are many, many Australians out there who let their fitness and health become less of a priority in their life. You get busy with all sorts of other things. As they say, life gets in the way.
Yep.
And I was one of those, so I'm not alone. There's millions of people out there just like me. And but when I made it a priority, in fact, I made it my number one priority. I am now reaping the benefits, so I can actually go out there with hand on heart and say, "Hey, this works."
You know exactly what it takes.
Yes.
Excellent. Well, obviously you mentioned, you're working with a number of different businesses and stuff like that. And as you know, from an active management perspective, we do work with a lot of fitness business owners, small business owners, personal trainers. And one of the things I was hoping you might be able to share with us is based on your relationships out in the industry and what you see on a day-to-day basis. If you had to identify, say, one major challenge that you see fitness business owners facing today, what would that be?
I think one of the biggest challenges is increased competition in a maturing market. I'm talking about the traditional fitness centre market here, and also the traditional fit and healthy population who are very motivated to exercise and are generally enjoying exercise and getting the benefits from it. There's over 3 million people doing that, which is fantastic, but this population group is really very well served by the fitness centre industry right now. And there's an increasing number of fitness options available to people who are self-motivated exercisers. So really we've got to look also in terms of the vision for a fitter, healthier Australia, we've got to look at very, very closely at the 60% of Australians, which is the lion's share of Australians, who are relatively inactive or sedentary. And there's also a significant group of people who are motivated to be active, but are very self-directed in terms of just going walking, or maybe they play a sport from time to time, but they don't engage with the fitness industry. So I can see a lot of opportunity coming out of that challenge in terms of these other population groups, whether they be the deconditioned or the sports people or the self-directed exerciser. Those are the ones that this industry needs to now turn its attention to in terms of growth. And really the only way to do that is really to get to know those people a little bit better. What is it that they're after? How do they like to relate to health and fitness and exercise? What sort of services do they need and want? There are niche businesses popping up around other markets, such as deconditioned, older people, younger people, children, those in health-related areas, those in the sports and athletic areas. So it's really about, in terms of overcoming challenges and looking at further growth, I believe that it's about creating more niche services and more tailored and personalised services for different groups.
Yep, that's interesting. So you're seeing that there's already a few people that are starting to embrace that, but there's plenty of opportunity to for others to start looking into those niche markets.
There absolutely is.
Yep.
There's 22 million people in Australia, 3 million of whom exercise with the fitness industry now.
Yeah, God.
That leaves an awful lot of people.
That's a big opportunity.
It is.
A challenge that turns into an opportunity. It's a great one.
That's right, and everyone needs their health and fitness. So we have the perfect product.
Absolutely. We've got the people to do it. So, Lauretta, when we were talking before, a little bit earlier in regards to your role, one of the things that you touched on is your team of people that you've got there at Fitness Australia and how strong they are and how important they are. And I was hoping that we could talk a little bit more about that because obviously, from your experience, you've got a great team of people there and it could, I'm sure, lessons that we learn from that could easily be translated into fitness businesses. I mean, how do you find in your business that you're able to keep the team motivated and keep the team on track with your vision and the direction of the business?
I think the most important thing from our perspective is that we have a very strong vision that everyone supports.
Right.
Everyone really loves the idea of a fitter, healthier Australia. And we talk about that a lot and we can relate that vision back to everyone's job description. That's part of, I think, the excitement factor that people actually want to get out of bed every day and come and work for us.
Yeah.
And they're really excited about that. And we because we talk about it and we celebrate it a lot, and even in a small win or a small edge forward, a new member joins or a consumer writes to us and says that they had a great experience with a personal trainer that's registered with us, we get really excited. Everyone sees the benefit and everyone thinks, yes, I have actually contributed to that.
Yep.
There's a very strong sense of coalescing around the vision. And we spend a lot of time talking about it and celebrating it. So I guess that's one point.
Yep.
The other thing that we do is we're very open about all aspects of the business.
Yep.
We don't hide anything. We trust each other. It's one of our values.
Yep.
And we have very open communication and we have very regular communication.
Yep.
We communicate with every member of the team every day at 2:22 via telephone.
Really? Yeah.
Located around Australia.
Yep.
So we just touch base. So the 2:22 is a touch base. How's everyone going? Any issues, any roadblocks? And then if there are, we can take them offline and deal with them there and then so that people aren't feeling isolated and alone in what they're doing. And also we get to understand, hang on, there's an issue or there's a celebration, something we can all be happy about. And then we have regular weekly, monthly, quarterly, annual meetings. So we keep the communication lines very open.
Yep.
We also have a very flat structure in terms of accessibility. There's no egos here in Fitness Australia. My door is open to everyone and I'm available to everyone at any time.
Yep.
And I make that really clear to everyone. And the same thing goes for all of people with a management role.
Yep.
And we see ourselves as coaches rather than managers. So there's a different mindset and a different philosophy there. Part of being a coach is about empowering the team to be the best they can be. So we want to help every individual in the team reach their potential as a person and also professionally.
Yep.
And if that means that we're actually helping them move to another role down the track, that's great.
Yep.
We don't try and avoid conversations like that, which we encourage it. We don't expect that everyone's going to be doing 20 years with Fitness Australia, but we really want to help them build their professional capacity and also achieve their personal goals. So we talk about those things a lot as well, and we're very honest with each other. And we also ensure that everyone can see how they can fit into achievement of our goals and vision. So every position description is created so that they can see where their job role actually links with achieving our strategic goals, which are quite big picture, and also our vision. So everyone in the organisation feels like they're part of this, and it's like a movement. So I think that's why we have such a strong culture and a strong, highly motivated team as well.
Absolutely. I mean, everything you've just said just points back to that whole open communication that you talk about, and I can see how that's existing within the business. I wanted to go back to this 222 touching base each day. I mean, that's amazing. And as I said at the beginning, I'm sure these things that you're talking about could easily be implemented into fitness businesses. So with your 222, is that the whole team?
It's the whole team.
Wow.
Yeah. There's 20 of us.
Yeah.
We're located around Australia.
Yep.
So everyone dials in to a teleconference number.
Yep.
And we just have a 5-minute chat.
Fantastic. Yeah. Love that. And then offline anything that needs more discussion or celebrate success, as you say.
Exactly.
Brilliant.
Yeah, so if there is, the first thing we ask is there any issues or roadblocks so that we know if there's any bad news or something that someone in the organisation needs to be aware of.
Yep.
Someone saw a media release on the weekend and they think, I better tell someone, or someone might be experiencing a bit of a roadblock, resolving a problem with a customer, and they think, I need some help. But they can reach out there and then. And there will always be someone in the organisation who can help them with it.
Yeah. Now I have to ask, I hope it's not a silly question, 222. Is there a significance?
The idea was that we had to make it, a memorable time.
Yes.
Also, they remember. I mean, I encourage everyone to put it in their calendar, their online calendar, and it is generally, but everyone just knows it's 2:22. Those in different time zones.
I think that's a good enough reason. I like it.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's move on to the next question that I was hoping to talk to you about, because again, you are dealing with so many different business owners, and one of the key issues that certainly I know a lot of our listeners come up with and deal with every year, I guess, is member retention, every day, I should say. So as far as initiatives go, and I'm sure you've seen and heard many of them, is there a standout? Is there one member retention initiative that you've seen that you could give us an example of that was particularly good?
Look, I really think that it goes back to good old-fashioned customer service.
Mm-hmm.
The fitness centres that I see doing this, fitness businesses that I see doing this really well, they have, genuine and personal customer service.
Yeah.
And it's in their culture.
Mm-hmm.
They get to know their customers as individuals and they treat them with respect and as individuals.
Yep.
And it doesn't mean necessarily that they have to tailor every single person's fitness program for them, because some people just like to do their own thing and other people like a lot of hands-on.
Yep.
But they know who needs what, and they execute that really well. And, I find this, especially in speaking with and visiting the businesses that receive Gold Quality Awards from Fitness Australia.
Yep.
They do this extremely well. It's often the hallmark of a Gold Quality Award recipient is excellence in customer service.
Mm-hmm.
And they know their customers. And some of these businesses are very, very large. So they spend a lot of time working out who's who and how to actually deal with them appropriately. So it can be done by a very large organisation right through to a very small one. But to me, that is the absolute.
Yep.
It's about that customer. Once that customer trusts you, they are loyal to you, and they want to build a relationship with you. And if you know what motivates them and what their needs are and what their attitude is, and then you deliver the services that are appropriate to them, then they're going to stay with you.
Absolutely. Great answer. Okay, I've got one more question for you, and it is quite a big one, and I think you're the perfect person to ask, and that is, we know that a lot of our listeners are looking to grow their business, they're looking to expand further into the industry, and they're also looking to grow professionally themselves. What would you suggest are 3 things that they could do to help grow and enhance their fitness career?
Well, the first thing that I think people should do is really spend some time on self-reflection.
Mm-hmm.
You need to understand your own strengths and weaknesses, your values, your needs, your attitudes, and your beliefs.
Mm-hmm.
And once you've gone through a bit of a process like that, you can start to get a sense of what you want to do next and how you want to go about building, improving yourself professionally or personally. So really, becoming self-aware is critical to this. The second thing I would suggest is find yourself a good mentor or coach who can help you through the process.
Mm-hmm.
They can help you with self-reflection if you don't want to do it on your own. They can also help you to develop a self-improvement plan.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you are doing a self-improvement plan, you have to be specific and you have to be realistic when you're setting your goals, because you don't want to set yourself up to fail. You want to actually succeed. But working with a mentor or coach, and it doesn't have to be a paid relationship, you will always find someone out there who's willing to help you.
Yep.
And it's really helpful just to be able to springboard ideas off someone else and get them to help you create these plans. The third thing would be, really just don't procrastinate. Get started, have a go at it, be courageous, take risks. People just don't get anywhere unless they're prepared to do that.
Yeah.
It's a lesson that I've learned very strongly within Fitness Australia.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people are held back by, self-limiting self-belief and negative attitudes of others around them. Mm-hmm. And so you have to dismiss the negative naysayers and you have to stop listening to the negative self-talk. Mm-hmm. If you've got a passion and a belief in something, you can make it happen. And you just need to stop listening to all the negative talk around you. Also, push yourself outside your comfort zone, because if you are outside your comfort zone, that's when you know you're going to grow, and you take those risks and you make it happen. I used to have a terrible fear of public speaking, and I constantly now look for opportunities to push myself into that zone so I get better and better at it, because it takes practice.
Brilliant.
Yeah, so you've just got to understand what are the fears and break down the barriers and take a few risks and get out there and do it. Because if you've got the passion, as I said, and the belief, it will happen.
100%. And I think it's interesting that you mentioned the mentor and the coach, because really that's something that they can help with as well, isn't it? Is when it does come to that procrastinating or you're just not quite willing to take that step, then quite often it is a mentor or a coach that can help you with that as well.
Absolutely. They can either, just explain it to you how it is, or they can help you find someone who, again, can help you.
Can help,
They may not be people who are experts in the field you're looking to excel in, but they might be able to help you find the right person to help you, with that. So it's developing a network, I guess, of people around you who can help.
Definitely, definitely. Well, look, Lauretta, thank you so much for your time this afternoon. Thank you so much for sharing such valuable information with our listeners. We really appreciate your time.
Thank you.
And we are going to put the Fitness Australia URL details, all of the website details up on the podcast notes as well, so everyone can click through if you want to check out the Fitness Australia website. So thank you once again, Lauretta, for joining us this afternoon, and that concludes our podcast.
I trust that you enjoyed this episode of the Express Fitness Business Podcast. And as always, I love to share with you my favourite takeaways from the show. Here are the tips from Lauretta that really resonated with me. Number 1, always make the time to undertake self-reflection. Number 2, find yourself a business coach or mentor. Probably a good time to remind you that we actually offer this service, so you might like to check out PT Biz Coach or Business Coaching with JT. Number 3, in order to grow, you need to push yourself outside your comfort zone. Now, don't forget, if you love the Express Fitness Business Podcast, don't forget to jump on and rate the show. Just click on the link in this week's show notes. Plus, if you want to drop me an email, let me know your feedback, ideas, suggestions, then you can email me directly at chantal@activemgmt.com.au. I always love to hear from you. Now, our next Express Fitness Business Podcast will be live next month, and next month's guest is none other than health club owner and fitness marketing guru, Michael Jordan. So subscribe now on our iTunes channel to make sure that you get the latest fitness business info. Until our next show, what you leave behind is not what is engraved on stone monuments, but what is woven into the lives of others.
You have been listening to the world's #1 podcast called the Fitness Business Podcast, brought to you by Active Management. We are dedicated to helping your fitness business #grow in 2015. Check out www.activemgmt.com.au for resources, tools, and more to help you. And by far, the best value for you is to become a member, so join today at www.activemgmt.com.au.